afternoon, good evening, good evening, good evening. And what is this evening? It's Monday night. And what do we do on Monday night? We do Urban Sentinel Live. I'm your host, Reggie Kearney, and I want to say hello, everyone. How y'all doing? I'm doing fine. I'm marvelous. I'm amazing. I'm a couple other things. I'm just not going to name it, okay? But I'm glad to be with you all tonight. And we got a great show tonight because we have with us tonight Dr. Kim R. Grimes. Dr. Grimes has got it going on. So she's going to inspire us tonight. When we leave this show tonight, we're going to be able to go out and tackle the world. So, Dr. Grimes, how are you doing tonight?
I am doing phenomenal. Thank you so much for having me, Reggie. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And hello, everyone. Thank you guys for being here as well. I'm honored to be here. So thank you so much for the
Well,
opportunity.
I thank you for being here. I'm just a little guy here in the corner trying to do something. You out in the world making a whole lot of noise. So, hey, I'm just glad to be in your presence tonight. Okay.
Yay, yay. I'm here in the world just being me, and that's what I
Okay.
do. I teach people how to be themselves, right?
Right.
Unapologetically, just show up and be you, right?
Yes.
Which is
Okay. Okay.
amazing. Like you really walk away with something awesome when you learn how to do that. And so I'm just enjoying every moment of the day, being present with the people that are in my life, and just having a blast. I tell people I am living my best life ever.
Amen. 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 So, Dr. Grimes, before we get started, tell us something about yourself.
Oh, absolutely. So I'm a change agent. I help change the trajectory of teens and young adults' lives. And what I do is I help them as a result of them working with me, they fall madly. Did I say madly? In
Yes, you
love with
did.
who they are.
Hmm.
They open up and communicate more effectively, putting words to their feelings and their thoughts. And I help them to make integrity based decisions. Why integrity? Because integrity is the key and the foundation to having a successful life. And so I am a retired military army, that is, or veteran. I'm retired from the Army for 25 years. I retired from serving 25 years in the Army Reserve, alongside with my lovely husband of 26 years. We both were stationed locally, and so we made the best of it. We retired back in 2011. So after 25 years, we both have 25 years. I decided a little before I retired to start getting my certification in life coaching. And so it's something that really I've always done. I've always done it for all my life, but realize, hey, I can get paid for this. So let me start doing it, as a business. And so that's what I started to do. My undergrad is in computer science. I'm originally from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, North Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and I'm the fifth child of eight children. My mother was a single parent, and so I want to believe I was the loudest, or maybe the loudest girl, because I have a brother who is just as loud, and my husband reminds me, you're loud as your brother. And I'm like, yeah, that's why we're in the same family. The fifth child of eight children, grew up inner city Philadelphia with humble beginnings. And so I knew at a very young age that I did not want to be an adult in poverty, or a poor adult, or live in poverty my adult life. So I said, okay, what can I do that's going to help catapult me out of the inner city of Philadelphia? And so I went to school for computer science. It was not my passion, but I learned how to program computers, and it served me tremendously. I also, while I was in the army, my specialty was administration. So I just love working with people. So with the army, and then with my undergrad, after that, the military paid for my master degree, which is in management, and they also paid for my doctorate degree, because my husband stopped at the master level, and he said he wasn't going back, but yet those who are in the military are familiar with the GI Bill. And I want to say like maybe 10 years ago, no, right after 9/11, they opened up the GI Bill where you can actually transfer it to your family members. And I took full advantage of it. So when he said he wasn't going back, I made sure he transferred that over to me because we don't have any children. So he transferred it over to me, and I said, okay, I'm just going to go and get my doctorate degree. And so my doctorate is in strategic leadership with an emphasis in coaching. And so that's what I've been doing, and I'm I will say I'm a little new at with this doctor thing. So sometimes when people call me Dr. Kim, I catch myself giggling, but it was hard work. It's nothing easy about it, and but I enjoyed it as as I went through the journey or on the journey. It was fun. So that's who I am.
Okay, okay, okay. Now tell me about your. You said you felt driven to be a life coach when you were young. So when you say young, what age did you determine that you wanted to be a life coach?
So I wanted to be this is no, I wanted to be a life coach when I was in my 20s, late 20s. So what if you really knew me, if you really knew me, you would know that at the age of 24, I was a widow. And my husband, who was in Lafayette, was killed in a military training exercise. And so at 24, I lost my identity. I had no clue. I lost it with his death, right? Because he was an integral part of my life, and it was something so traumatic that happened to me. Coming up, when I surfaced from it, I found myself angry. I found myself bitter, frustrated, just mad at not only the world. I was mad at God. I was so mad at God that I said to him, "I'm gonna find a way to get you back for taking my husband away from me." Go figure, right? And so, at the age of, I want to say I was in my late 20s when I realized, because at 24 I was so devastated, I did not know what to do. I did not know, to be honest, to experience what I experienced at such a young age. It was of course horrific, but it wasn't until some time went by until I really began to get the help that I needed. And if you ask me today, I don't think I got all the help that I needed, but I began to really look at, was this about me? Or was this about the next person? Because what I realized was there were other women that were losing their spouses, and I was able to support them. I was able to help them. I was able to have conversations with them, unlike a lot of people, like their family members couldn't, because I was one who experienced the loss. And of course, every loss is different,
Hmm.
but when you lose a spouse, there's something that is in common. Like there's a void that does not go away until that void is filled. And I'm a strong believer that only God can fill that void, just like only God um, can heal wounds. And so it wasn't until my late 20s when I realized that I can really help someone and start giving back the way that I learned and how people were given to me. But it took a process because, like I said, I was angry, I was mad, I was bitter, I didn't like anyone. Even when I met my current husband, and we met in the military, I was angry with the military and mad that I was in the military, and at that point did not know how to get out because I was so mad. I was so mad that I couldn't even think, how do I get out of this mess? But instead, I just kept showing up angry, antagonizing people, just something totally opposite than what I am now. But that was my life, and that's who I was, and I found myself spiraling out of control. And it wasn't until, like I said, it wasn't until later in my 20s when I realized that I wanted to be a life coach. But when I was young, like in my teens, I knew I did not want to live in poverty because I grew up in it. I grew up in humble beginnings. And my mom, she did the best that she could. Of course, when you're young, you think, oh my gosh, right? But as you get older and you start living your own life and experience different circumstances and situations, you realize that your parents, they're doing the best that they can do. And so I recognize that and love, everything that my mother did for me, and I honor her even more because out of that there is so much of me that was developed in that, right? Because of my humble beginnings, I can relate to so many people who are or who have been in that space as well. Because I lost uh, my husband, I can relate to even more people. So I knew at a very young age that I wanted to help and serve people. But once I had experienced that traumatic loss, all that went out the window. Like it just went totally out the window, and it was about me manipulating and getting back and getting even. And it wasn't until I met my current husband, who at the time I had no interest in him other than what we call, I was like, he was a straight up booty call. I was going to hit it and quit it. And that's it. And so it evolved into so much more because the way he showed up in my life, I was, I tell everybody, I partied all the time. I smoked, I drank, you could call me the town drunk. And I would have been like, yup, because this is how I was showing up, but I was hurting. And at that time, I did not realize how I knew I was hurting, but I did not realize how much I was trying to hurt others. Right. But then a part of it was, yes, it was intentional because I was hurting so bad. I want everybody around me to hurt. And I realized, like, my husband helped me to realize that he showed the mirror. And what I mean by that, held the mirror up to me, and not literally, but figuratively speaking, instead of him, um, instead of him judging me, he
Mm-hmm.
would say to me, "You're too beautiful to speak like that." When I cussed, when I, said whatever, "You're too beautiful. You're too amazing to act like that." And I'm looking at what who is this person? And so it really helped me to start really seeing me. And in that, I began to do what I call now. I didn't know what it was then. I put a title to it. I call it, I began to uncover my greatness because I've learned that through that traumatic experience, my greatness got covered up and I couldn't see it. I couldn't see me. I couldn't see my identity. I did not know any of that. If you asked me my name, I could tell you my name. Absolutely. I could tell you that. But I couldn't tell you my purpose. I couldn't tell you my goals. If I had, my dreams, I couldn't tell you any of that. I couldn't tell you that I'm amazing. And that I was powerful and that I was phenomenal. I could not tell you that because I did not know it. And I did not know it because it was covered up. So what I've learned since then is that I was born in greatness. Each and every one of us. So I'm just unique in my own way, but I'm no different. I'm a human being. I put my pants on one leg at a time. I breathe the same oxygen that you all breathe, that you breathe, and without it, right? I can't breathe, like I can't live. And so knowing that there's nothing like different in a sense of human about me, I realized that we all are great. Every last one of us. Every last one of us are born in greatness. And so what happens is life happens. Life that unpredictable, some that we plan, some that we don't plan. The death of my first husband, that definitely wasn't planned. And if someone would have told me that at the age of 20, right, I would have said, oh no, something's wrong with you. So those things begin to cover up your greatness. Not only that, people, we get in a space where we want approval from people. We want people to love us. We want our parents to love us. We want them to approve of us. And those things as well get in the way of our greatness. It covers up our greatness. And I learned in while I was uncovering my greatness, there are a number of things that happen to us, but at least three things that I can tell that happen to each and every one of us, right? Everyone may not experience the loss of a spouse, but I'm quite sure they experience the loss of a loved one. But everyone experience someone saying something to you. And what I mean by that is someone calling you out of your name or saying something something that's contrary to who you are. So somebody's going to say something to you that's going to help cover up your greatness. And what you're then going to do is they're going to say it enough, or you're going to hear it enough from enough people that you're going to start saying it about yourself. And so, what
Mhm.
am I talking about? Someone may call you dumb, they may call you stupid, they may call you ugly, they may call you fat, they may call you skinny, and you hear it enough, you then say, "Oh yeah, I am fat. Oh, I am dumb. I am stupid. I am skinny. I am ugly." And so you begin to say it to yourself. That's the second thing that I learned that was going on with me, right? That happens not only with me, to everyone. And then the third thing is that you believe it. I start believing it. I start believing it. And so it became a part of my belief system that I was dumb, stupid, ugly, black, bald headed, you name it. And so all of those things began to cover up my greatness. And so it's like, how do I know that I
Mhm.
was great? Well, let me give you this example. And I've learned this by doing self work. I used to work with Lisa Nichols, motivating the masses. And gosh, the can't think of the youth, and I worked there, and it just went out my head. But it'll come back. But one of the things that I learned in that is emotional literacy. I learned what emotional literacy was all about, and it really helped me to manage my emotions. And that is something that is not taught in school. It's not taught at home. I love my mama, right? But when she got mad, she cussed. And so, like, guess what? When I got mad, I cussed too, because that's where I've learned it from. And in the training that I've taken, just to manage my emotions, to uncover my greatness, I learned that we are at the age of 1 and 5, we are really walking in our greatness. We're walking in who God created us to be. And then somebody says something to us contrary to who we know we are at that time, contrary to that. And then it just keeps continuing. And before you know it, you lose sight of who you really are. And then something traumatic may happen. Like for me, the loss of my spouse, that happened, and it really covered up. So I really had to do a lot of work to uncover my greatness. And in that, I learned how to fall madly, madly. Did I say madly? In love with me. I
Mhm.
learned that it's not about I'm better than anyone. It's not about me looking down at anyone. It's about me owning who I am, owning my greatness, just like I own the nose on my face, right? These ears that belongs to me, and these lips that belong to me, owning that. And so when I learned how to do that, first I had to become aware, which I call uncover. So first you have to learn how to uncover your greatness, because rest assured, I guarantee you, it's covered. It's covered up, and it doesn't stop, because why? Life does not stop. And so because life doesn't stop, things will happen in your life, and you can uncover it, but you will then have to go back and uncover it some more, because things will happen and it'll cover. Okay, I need to uncover it. So it's an ongoing process of uncovering your greatness. And so that's what I do. That's what I teach. I love to show people how powerful they are, how amazing they are, just by taking them through a number of exercises to help them to really uncover their greatness, acknowledge their greatness, own their greatness, and then I say walk and ultimately live in your greatness so that you can be who God created you to be unapologetically. And when you do that, that's when you're serving the world. That's when you're giving your best of your best. And it won't feel like a job. It won't drain you. It will just give you the energy that you need so that you can be.
Okay, good, good, good. I tell you, 30 minutes almost goes by pretty fast. But look, one of the things I wanted you to, excuse me, touch on would be the last almost 3 years going into the third year has been pretty rough on everyone here in this country and around the world. How would you coach us to reach for greatness coming out? And then we're not out of it yet, but close to it, coming out of this COVID situation.
So some of it I've shared already.
Mhm.
But what I would say is a couple of things, two things that I'm sharing that's anchoring me. The first thing definitely is to begin to acknowledge, well, begin to uncover. I share that with everybody that I coach. This is the first step into our coaching relationship, is to begin to uncover, because I know it's covered. So that's the first thing in doing that. And I call it path to greatness. And in this path to greatness, it's an exercise. You can download it out, from my website. um, and I'll give you that information as well. But in path to greatness, there are 4 questions that you have to ask yourself. Not only ask, but you answer them. And this is what I've also learned when I was working with Lisa. Matter of fact, these 4 questions I actually um, learned, first time I read these questions was in her book called No Matter What. And what I did, and so, and Lisa, she gives you an exercise, but what I did is I took this exercise, I took those 4 questions, and I start answering them. But what I added to that is, it just wasn't one day. I initially, in the exercise that I give, I'm asking you to do it for 7 days. 7 days that you're going to ask and answer these questions in the form of a question like this: what I like about myself is, what I appreciate about myself is, what I love about myself is, and what I admire about myself is. I call it la la because it's easy. Like, appreciate, love, admire. There's no order. I just call it la la so I can remember when I'm telling people that is like, appreciate, love, admire. It can easily be, love, admire, appreciate, like. It doesn't matter the order. So you're going to take these 4 questions, you're going to write them down, and you're going to answer them. Now, no one can help you. Absolutely no one can help you in answering these questions. You have to go inward, because our first response is to go and ask someone, what do you like about me? What do you appreciate? No, you can't do that. You have to ask yourself, because that's the last thing that we're going to do. We're not going to want to ask ourselves. We're going to ask everyone else. So this exercise requires you to go in and ask yourself these 4 questions. And then once you ask the question, you have to provide an answer. And then you have to go in front of a mirror and you read it out loud. Now, every day for 7 days, you have to do this. But here's the caveat to this: there's no repeat. You cannot repeat an answer. So if I say, what I like about myself is my big, pretty eyes. What I appreciate about myself is that I can get along with anyone. What I love about myself is my cocoa brown skin. What I admire about myself are my dimples. What I like about myself is my button nose. And what I appreciate about myself is that I can encourage anyone and work with anyone. What I love about myself is that I love serving. And so when you go and answer these questions, you cannot repeat an answer, which makes it even harder for you to answer the questions, right? And so you do it the first 7 days, and then you have to repeat it for another 7 days. So here you have 14 days. And what I'm giving everyone is 14 days for you to begin to uncover your greatness. And this is what I know. I know that you will, if you do it accurately and you commit to it, you will not be that same person that you were when you started this process. You will not be. And here's why: because the last thing we want to do is remind ourselves of how great we are, how amazing, how powerful, how beautiful. We don't want to do that, because the world says when we do that, we're conceited. And No, you're not. That means you're confident when you know who you are. So that's the first thing I would say. Let's start uncovering our greatness so that we can begin to clearly see who we are. Find our true identity while you're uncovering your greatness. The second thing that I would say is integrity. And what do I mean by that? We have to, in this day and age, we have to live in integrity, because the decisions of our leaders and the people are around us, they're not living in integrity. And so with that, if you go with how they're making decisions and how they're living, it will cause you to live outside of integrity. Integrity is that anchor. Integrity is that thing that says who you really are, right? It's a part of who you are. And so what is integrity? When we talk about integrity, you'll find a lot of different meanings. Well, this is what it means to me when I say integrity. Integrity is doing what is right when no one is looking, even when it costs you. Even when it costs you. When your integrity is compromised and you're willing to give up a friendship or walk away from a job or walk away from an offer because it impacts your, or it may impact your integrity, that's how you know you have integrity. And so it is the part that will keep a relationship healthy, right? A relationship that relationships that do not have integrity, they become toxic as well. And so the two things that I would ask, that I would say that we can help, that I will offer as support or serve or help everyone that's listening, is let's begin to uncover our greatness. And while we're doing that, let's also walk in and stay in integrity.
Okay, good stuff, good stuff, good stuff. We've been talking and with Dr. Kim R. Grams tonight. She's an inspirational speaker and life coach, and she's given us a few nuggets that we can live by on a daily basis. And I know she has a whole lot of more nuggets in her bag, but we can't cover them all tonight. But what she's given us tonight is a start, and will get you rolling and going into the direction you want to go in. So, Dr. Grass, tell the people how they can get in touch with you.
Absolutely. So my website is my website is kimrgrimes.com. It's my website. You can also get in contact with me. My email is Dr. Kim R. Grimes. This is how you see it on here, at gmail.com. And I'm on every social media platform. Not everyone, but I'm on the main ones: Facebook, TikTok, LinkedIn. I'm even on Snapchat as well, Instagram. All of them. I try to be as consistent as possible, and all of it is Kim R. Grimes. So that's how you can get in contact with me, or just shoot me an email, whatever is easier.
Okay. So we've, like I said again, we've talked to Dr. Kim R. Grimes tonight. She's a great inspirational speaker and life coach, and
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we'll be seeing more and hearing more from her in the future.
Yay.
She has an article in the magazine this month that's coming out in a couple of days in Urban Sentinel. So this is a good segue into what she's going to be doing with the magazine. Now, for
Absolutely.
you all that love the hard stuff and like talking politics, come back and join me tomorrow night and my co-host Sherry Ann Tappett on Real World News TV as we, I guess, go back down the same old road again. What we've been going down. We're going to look at these sentences that police officers have been getting over the last couple of weeks and see and talk about the unfairness of the sentences the police officers have gotten. And it just seems like it's a revolving door when it comes to police reform. And we'll also be talking about some other items that are taking place in the news at this time also. So come join us tomorrow night on Real World News TV at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 5:30 p.m. Pacific Time. Dr. Grimes,
Yes, sir.
10 seconds. Give me a 10-second nugget.
You are amazing. You are you unapologetically, because no one, absolutely no one, is better at being you than you. And I dare you to find someone who can do you and be you better than you. I double dog dare you.
Well, I'm gonna sleep good tonight. I got a good nugget to think on tonight. That's great. That's great. Again, Dr. Grimes, I want to thank you for being with us here on the Urban Sentinel Live show tonight. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for
Like
having me.
I said, 30 minutes, you can't get a lot done in 30 minutes, but she did give us some, some stuff to think about, some nuggets to think about. So, everyone, uh, be the best you that you can be this year, okay? We're still early in the year. We haven't even got to March yet. We're in the shortest month of the year for Black History Month, so. But going forward, be the best you that you can be. And I think we all have to dig down and have a great year because we're coming out. We're not coming out of it, but we're in a better position than what we were a couple of years
Years
ago with
ago. Right.
COVID. We can move around. We don't have to stay at home. So go do you. So until the next time, I want to thank again Dr. Grants for being with you. I'm your host, Reggie Kearney. Take care. Have a good week. Be safe. Hey, look, still wear the mask. We're not out of this yet, okay? If you prefer to, I still wear my mask. So take care. Be good to yourself. And I will see you next Monday night on Urban Sentinel Live. Take care now. Good night.
Bye bye.